Well, we're back with Mac Zilla. We're going to go out and do some break-in cuts with it today and do some cookies. So these saws have a chrome cylinder bore and it's got new rings in it. And it's actually pretty hard for rings to seat in a chrome bore. So what we're going to do is going to start out at low to medium speed and then go to full throttle and let off and do the same thing for several cuts. And what that does is, you know, the rings will be like this, and when you full throttle it puts a lot more pressure on the rings and they push out against the cylinder wall. When you let off the throttle they move back. So, you know, throttle on, throttle off, throttle on, throttle off. That makes the rings seat a whole lot quicker. And so, anyway, a couple of things I can say about the saw, since Smitty hot rodded it here. It's a whole lot harder to start. It's more finicky, and then the compression is really high, so you got to really hang on to the starter handle. So anyway, we'll see you at the tree. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start cutting cookies. Run the throttle full on and let off and back and forth and keep down. And the very last cut we'll do a full throttle cut. So let's see if we can get the rascal started here. Well, what I can say, it doesn't have the torque it used to. Anyway, we'll be back. Well, I just wanted to talk briefly about my initial thoughts here. And the wood we're cutting is pretty hard. And it also is spongy, so it tries to pinch the bar here. Now, I do have a full house chain on it, but it's not a real good brand of chain. It doesn't cut as good as some of the others I have. And then I have the banana bar on here, which is a safety bar we did in our last video. So once it's buried in the wood from here, from the tip here to back just about here, it's not going to cut that great because it doesn't have a good angle into the wood. But anyway, when we get ready to do some time cuts, put some more break-in time on it, I'll put on the same bar I use on the 610 and the 650, and then we'll test all three of them against each other and see how they do. So we'll be back with good stuff. Well, for the second half of our video today, it's going to be about use what you have. So in behind me here are some branches that we took off a tree we dropped recently, and we'll have that video coming up before too long. But anyway, the thing that I like to use these for The branches, when they're green like this and they're full of sap and whatnot, I like to run them through the shredder and make a nice mulch that we put around our trees and under the grapevines and whatnot. And then the main branches, I save those for kindling. So anyway, we'll get started here. Okay, we're going to be using our vintage Collins hatchet here, a Boy Scout edition from way back. This thing weighs about a pound and a quarter or so, but man, it's really effective. But anyway, we'll show you here. See how nice and slick that is. Using the right tool, using it properly and safe way. And the safe way is you get a lot of work done with old antique stuff. Got to hit them at the right angle. There we go. See how nice and clean that cut off there. Anyway, we'll get this cut up and we'll be back. Okay, well, we're down to our last branch here. So what I do is take my nippers and go to the top here and cut it off where it's not too big. It'll go through the shredder with no problem. If it gets too big, it slows it way down. So anyway, that's perfect right there. And finish branching it. Yeah, nice and quick. Now, when you're cutting these, and they're coming out at about a 45-degree angle, you want to come in about a 45-degree angle to cut them off. And just a teeny bit of bark holding it there. That seems to be the best angle for most cutting on these things. Get a Y up here, and it's got a fairly good sized one, so we'll come in and at an angle like this and cut this one off here. See that nice clean cut? It's about 1.25 inches across there. Perfect size to go right into the shredder. So anyway, we'll get the last of these off and be right back. Well, there we're done. This will make really good kindling for next season. Got a pile of it over here, but just wanted to talk about the little hatchet here for just a second. Weighs 1.5 pounds. Get out of the shadow here. And it's 13 inches long. Face is 3 inches, 5 inches. But after using a lot of axes, new and old, the old ones are so much better. This has got really good steel in it, really holds an edge. Got a nice shaped handle. Perfect. Be right back. Okay, well, we got a big pile here. Another one here. We still got a little bit more to put on it, but we'll be running this through the shredder here shortly, and then we'll be using it for mulch around the vines and the trees. Well, for our next chore, going to be running a shredder here. Going to be shredding the branches out of that tree we dropped here recently. And this, when we make the mulch out of this, it's just a little bit acidic. And it works perfect under the grapevines. So anyway, let's see how hard this thing is to start. Been sitting since October. Fuel on, choke on, ignition on, throttle on. Well, all warmed up here. Get our safety gear on and start chipping away. Okay, well, you can see what really nice fine stuff this is. The shredder does a really great job. Now this type of stuff with the fir tree needles and whatnot, like as I will use on plants that like acidic soil. So they're going to go around the blueberry bushes and the raspberries and the grapes. And my trees and stuff, fruit trees, this is what I like to use here. These are little unwanted saplings everywhere, but you know, these just came on, the leaves here, just in the last few days. And so I'll harvest a bunch of these and run these through here, and that's what I'll use, like I say, on the orchard trees. So anyway, another job to get done. Well, here's our first batch of mulch. So I'm going to put this under here. Between this and the straw that I've got down here, it'll pretty well stop the weeds coming up. And this breaks down, feeds all that nourishment. You know, it's got all that fresh stuff in it because this live branches when I just took them down the other day. So this breaks down pretty quickly. Deal. So anyway, we'll be back when we're closer to being done. Well, we got a little apple tree here, but we don't use that acidic mulch on it. But what we do use, over to the right of me here, you can see a bunch of branches. These are pieces we took out of the big apple tree right over here. And you can see that I put down a nice straw here, a few leaves and stuff. And, you know, just pick this up and it's nice and wet, but I'll take and pull this back and look at this really nice soil. When I put down the mulch around it, it takes about a full year to fully break down into this soil, but man, it's full of nutrients and lots of worms in it and stuff. It's just really good stuff. So anyway, there again, use what you have. Okay, well, we'll be back with this saw, but not in this video. We're going to be doing a number of videos, and so keep tuned. We're still fighting the weather here because it rained all morning and we got this little brief break and the storm's coming in. So anyway, we're out working and cutting and doing our jobs in between storms, so we're not moving forward real fast. We'll see you soon. Vintage is best.